Hi and welcome to Solar FPV. My name is Anas and welcome to my desk. Today I'm going to be starting my 2-inch build, and obviously there are some things that need to be done before you start a build, before you start putting all the components together. I'm going to be flashing this XM Plus receiver, and in case you're wondering how to do that using the radio, I'm going to be showing you how to do it. Obviously I've done this before, so in my radio I've got a little sticker saying what is what regarding to the pins, and it's like so. So there's power, ground and signal at the bottom. I've also got a little sticker at the top saying what the receiver is, S-bus, power and ground when you're looking at the receiver, which is here. So that's the square bit. Is, oh come on, focus, please. So S-bus, oh god, here we go. S-bus is the square pad, and then we got the next pad to the right of the square pad is power, and the last one way over to the right is ground. So I've got a dongle here. You can see that that doesn't really match in the radio, so you're gonna have to be careful not to fry your receiver doing this. So that's why I thought I'd make this a little video. So let's just prep this. These are some tiny wires. I'm just gonna need to put a little bit of solder on the tips. I've already clipped the tips, so let's try that. I'm using my USB iron because I don't really need a lot of heat going on to that receiver, and that's where this USB soldering iron comes very handy. There we go. Oh, that's quite a big blob I got on there, but it doesn't matter. There we go. You can obviously remove solder like this. Here we go. I think that looks good enough. They've got quite a bit of solder on there. Good thing with these silicone wires is that they don't shrink like others do, but I do want a little bit more on here. Come on. Yeah, that should be good enough. Let's do the same for the receiver and turn it the right way around. And then we just put a bit of solder on the tip and preheat this pad. There we go. That was quite a lot of solder I got on there. There we go. Let's preheat the next tab a bit. Not a lot, just a little bit of solder. Yeah, here we go. And then the last one. There we go. Is that good? That looks good. Okay, so just let that cool for a bit and check the bottom. Nothing went totally crazy. No, there's still a hole in this. Doesn't really matter. I'm gonna be soldering some other wires to connect the receiver to the flight controller in here. This is the iFlight Success, I guess, with an X, and it's a nice little stack. So I'm going to be using that. This is obviously just pre-mount. It's always a good idea to pre-mount your components to see if things go together, if you've got space for your receiver and for your camera and everything. And I already tested it out and it works just fine. There's even a space for a buzzer, so I might put a tiny buzzer on there. So yeah, we'll see. Anyway, let's put this together and start flashing or talking about flashing the firmware. So we got the S-bus, which is or signal, which is my yellow wire, and I'm just gonna guess I'll use a pair of tweezers because tweezers are nice for this kind of stuff. So let's just do that. Yeah, it's not really working. Guess I need a little bit more solder. Sometimes when it's such small components, it can get really tricky. Really tricky to actually get it to work and melt together. Here we go. Very nice. That was a signal wire. Yes. And then we have the 5V, which is power. And it's always nice to use a little bit of solder to get it started. There we go. That way you also know if your tip is clean or if your tip is hot enough. At least with these USB ones. I mean, they're not very good, but they're good enough for, at least for these small things that are a little bit sensitive. It seems to work pretty fine. So get in there. There we go. And then the last one, the ground. Gonna be come on. There we go. Let's see. And I think that just got a lot of heat though, the receiver, so it's stuck on there. That's good enough. Check the bottom to see if there's any smudge of, and just check if there's anything touching. Yeah, no, that looks really good, nice and shiny. Now I'll plug it in and make sure that I plug it in right with the signal, ground and positive. Always check and double check. It's just good to do in case you do screw something up. Let's see, this one doesn't quite fit, does it? Yeah, there we go. Okay, now that's in. Let's turn on the radio.
Welcome to OpenTX.
And yeah, you see, it's lighting up. That's good. So then we can go in, I think you hold menu. And it's been a long time since I've done this. I don't really remember where. Oh, here we go. Firmware version. Yeah, this is the firmware version just in case. So you can see what it's from 2018. It's a bit old, but that's basically it. Let's see. Firmware XM Plus LBT. Hold in flash external module. This is the SD card. So you have to hold in the menu button to get into the. Let's do this again. Okay. So hold in the menu. Then you're in radio setup. Change page. Go to your SD card. So now you're in the SD card. You can have all kinds of stuff: images, modules, screenshots, scripts and sounds, and XSR. OpenTX SD card version, and there's all kinds of stuff. So firmwares XM Plus LBT. This is because I'm in Europe, of course. So I'm gonna enter that flash external module and now it should be writing. You see, it's flashing between green and red. Okay? So now I'm writing the right type of firmware to my receiver, which is matching the firmware that the radio speaks with. So my radio speaks LBT. It's listen before talk, and that's basically it. It only takes a few, doesn't take so long. Still writing. There we go. And now it's just blinking again. What I'll do is I'll exit, 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 and then I'll turn off the radio, like so, and pull out, if I can. I need to pull this out without damaging anything. There we go. I can put the cover back on. I'll put my multi-protocol back in. Now all you gotta do is always check for bits of metal or solder bits in your BlueTAC, and sometimes you just need to change it out because it's got, I mean, if you got metal residue in your BlueTAC because you use it over and over again, eventually you might actually short circuit something when using it. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to remove the wires again. Hopefully I can do it so it's nice and neat. Guess we'll use a bit of flux. It just helps a little bit. Get things flowing. Come on. Well, this is not as easy to take off as it was to put on. Okay, whatever you do, careful when doing this. Breathing this kind of stuff is not very healthy. It's not healthy at all, actually. This is going to be another boring long video. I'm sorry, but I could have used a better soldering iron, I guess, and things would have been a little bit faster, but I really don't want to fry my receiver. So, and this is just taking decades to heat up for some reason. It was working before and I haven't turned it off. Okay, well, this is not working at all. There we go. Now it's hot enough. Yeah, putting these wires on and soldering them on was a little bit more easy than actually taking them off again. So, come on. Oh boy. There's one wire. There we go. Now that's ready for the next one. Second wire. And the third wire. Come on. There we go. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to clean these pads up. if it will let me, of course. And let's just try this. That's looking good. And that's it. Receiver ready to be soldered onto some wires that are soldered onto the flight controller. And if you really want to, yeah, that's looking very neat. Very neat. So now this receiver has the right software or firmware that will talk to the radio, and that way it can be controlled. So with the radio, of course. I hope you liked this video. Subscribe for more FPV related content and of course builds. And let's see how this one progresses from start to finish. Yeah, I think that's it for me for today. I'm gonna be flashing Betaflight or something else, maybe Emu Flight, onto the flight controller, and I'm gonna be sorting out the wire harness for the camera, because the iFlight comes with this for the camera, which is a 3-pin PH 1.25, I think, and it actually has a 2.5 on the other end. Sorry if you can't see it. So this one goes into the flight controller, and then you have this one, which is for the camera, which is my camera, and this has 4 pins. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be swapping the 3 cables over onto this plug, so it can just be plugged directly in the camera, and then I'm just going to be removing the white wire, just desoldering it. I don't need it. It's audio, and it's just you're supposed to be able to send audio, because this is a CCTV camera thing that can record. I can't tell you what it is. It just says it's from 2017, but it's a 720 pixel HD camera, and yeah, it's kind of okay, no issues there. So that's what I'm going to be using as my FPV camera. Right, that's it for me. See you in the next one, and as always, fly hard.